Despite all the doom and gloom that's kind of going on at the moment surrounding West Ham's injury crisis, and let's be honest, it is a bloody big injury crisis as it stands. Hopefully, we're going to get some bit better news soon, but as it stands, it's not looking very good. There is a bit of positive activity that's come out of all of this, and something that's happened this week. Well, I should say positivity. Let's start with the negative side of it. The under-21s, unfortunately, went out of the Cup in midweek. They lost to Wycombe Wanderers 2-1, and that's the Bristol Street Motors Trophy. They're in the last 16 anyway, lost 2-1. But what came out of it is very interesting, is that West Ham basically are now looking to promote the academy boys up to the first team. This is something that us fans have been really craving and wondering when this is going to happen, when these players are going to get their chance, when are they going to start seeing things? Well, we know that we're offloading a lot of fringe players at the moment. And let's be honest, we need to, because they're not good enough. The attitudes haven't really come across right. The players just don't fit the systems, etc., etc. There's lots of varying reasons. I think players want to leave. We know Pablo Fornals wants to go back to Spain. Ben Rama's kind of surplus to requirements. Moyes kind of wants him out of the club. Danny Ings doesn't fit the system, blah, blah. We know that the situation isn't great when it comes to our squad depth, when it comes to the first team. So a lot of people have been, including myself, have been wondering, well, what are we doing in this window then? Because if we're going to let all these players go, if we're letting Ings, Fornals, Ben Rama and Taylor Kira leave, what's happening elsewhere? Are we going to really be buying 5 or 6 players in January? Well, no, we know West Ham won't be. The reality is we're probably going to be buying 1 or 2 maximum. So the situation appears that West Ham are going to be now looking to the under-21s to promote them. And the reason we say that as a bit more of a fact is because ex-WHU employees advised that being the case, which is also, obviously a key thing. But David Sullivan himself was at the game for the under-21s the other night. Understandably, I believe that he was there to, 1, watch them play, and 2, to see these players apparently that they're about to promote to the first team. This is obviously all in line with the players are letting go and the players are going to bring through. Now, we understand it, which is very, very good news, that Callum Marshall is about to sign a new deal with the club, which is fantastic. We know how good he is and how highly sought after he is. The club are looking, I think there are a few clubs that are looking at these players to take out on loan. But from what we understand it, Callum Marshall is going to be promoted to first team, along with a few others. I think Ollie Scholes could be looking for that, coming up to a first team player. I think as well, you're looking at Lewis Orford, who's also going to be in line to coming up to the first team. I don't know exactly who's going to be coming up just yet. We don't know the exact names, but these are the players that are being touted that possibly are going to be making the leap to the first team, which let's be honest, is fantastic. That as West Ham fans, what we want to see. The concern, obviously, slightly is when we've seen certain players come through, they're thrown in, they're not quite ready. You want to get the timings right, but it's certainly exciting that the fact that they're taking this seriously, because we did not want to be in a situation, one, where we let these players go. We've seen it so many times that we don't take advantage of the players that we've got. We let them go. And 2, as a club, when you've got a youth academy that are doing so well, that have won so many things of late, you want to see these players progress. If you look back to the 1999, we had Joe Cole, Rio, Lampard, Defoe, we had all these players coming through that went on to these amazing careers. We don't want to squander that. We don't want to be in a situation where players, because bear in mind, times have changed since then. When you think back to the days of those, back in the 99s, early 2000s, these players didn't have agents like they do now. Do you know what I mean? They were happy to earn barely anything, live with their mum and dad, and just wait for their chance. But nowadays it's different. You know what I mean? There's pressures elsewhere. They're getting offers all over the place. And agents are in their ear roll continually about this, that, and the other. So it's difficult, and we've got to play the game well. So it's interesting now that we're actually looking at some of these players to promote them through. It's very, very exciting. But obviously the big bit of news is Callum Marshall signing a new deal. Which is great. I think that's going to be confirmed soon, which would be excellent. Obviously, we'll find out a bit more about that and the details of it, but that is really good news. Also, in terms of Divine Mubama, they're talking about a new contract for him as well, and they want to get that done. It appears that Mark Noble's been really working hard on that, trying to get it over the line. Tim Stighton, I think, has been involved too. So hopefully that'll get a positive conclusion. Look, these players are not necessarily going to be coming straight into the first team and be a Premier League. We understand there's going to be a bedding-in period, but I like the fact now they're starting to see that route to the first team, because when you think of Mabama in particular of late, he was one, isn't he, that's kind of had those doubts and seeing, well, when am I going to get my chance? When am I going to get my chance? Well, he's starting to get it now. You know what I mean? He got it against Bristol City. And I do understand. I mean, look, let's be fair. We watched that game against Bristol City. You can see he's not quite ready yet as a Premier League striker. He's getting there. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a great player. He's got loads of potential, but he needs strengthening up. He needs a bit more game time. And we need that with the other players as well. We need to start seeing them and get the way they're going to get better is by getting some experience out there. And obviously mixing it with the first team as well is exactly what we want to see. So, no, it's really great to see. And I'm so proud of them, really, to see these lads coming through. It really is exciting. It really is. Another player as well is Patrick Kelly, who's also signing a long-term deal with the club. He's highly sought after, been excellent apparently since his arrival from Northern Ireland, has been brilliant. And again, another player that just excites you. Do you know what I mean? This is what we want to see. Players coming through our academy and doing well. It really is. It puts on a positive spin on a bit of a miserable time for us at the moment. Obviously, we had that crappy result against Bristol City. We've got this injury situation going on. But it seems to be presenting a bit of an opportunity for a few of these players, and that's what I want to see. But that being said, I don't want the club to be just leaning on these young boys straight away, going, well, that's our answer. Don't worry, there's our new fringe player. Don't get me wrong, a few positions I want filled, but as a club, we need to be pushing on. I really do want to see the club be busy in this January transfer window and strengthen where we can. But look, this is good news, and the fact we're keeping Callum Marshall as well for the long term is great for the club. I think there will be some loans. I do believe that is going to be the case. That is what they're being earmarked. But as it stands at the moment, going into the second half of the season, I think there's going to be some opportunities here for our young lads.